Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Market Must Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and here are 3 things to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. Now the first one, well, you know what, it's not just a single item, it's a twofer. We're talking about the S&P 500 adjustments. Now, as you may have heard, about a month ago, they made an announcement that there was going to be a new addition to the S&P 500, that index of 503 stocks that most of the world is looking at. The first one there is going to be Tesla, everyone's darling stock, the technology marvel that's just gone stratospheric with regards to its price. It will be added as of Monday. That's TSLA as a ticker symbol, and I'll show you the chart here in a second. But as something is put in, something has to be removed, and that's going to be Aimco. Aimco will be removed from that on Monday, which means that all the portfolios that were tracking the S&P 500 need to buy Tesla and sell AIV. So let's take a look at the price charts of those. As you may have encountered over the past couple of months, Tesla has just gone parabolic. You'll notice here in the little red circle, that's when the announcement was made it was going to be added to the S&P 500, and it was trading at roughly $410 then. Since then, it's rallied all the way up to a peak of right around $675, maybe $680 per share, roughly 67% gain in about a month. That's incredible. Oh, but let's look at AIV. Now, AIV was just announced about a week ago that they were the one being removed. And notice where it went from about $42 all the way down to about $4 and change. Womp womp. If you held that one in your portfolio, you're down 89%. Now, of course, you're looking at this thinking, wow, if I just bought Tesla and sold AIV, I'd be rich. Well, there's a little bit of a catch. If you bought Tesla, you'd probably be doing pretty well. But there's a little bit of a trick here that they did with AIV. It didn't drop 89%. AIV shares did, but they also, when they made this announcement, they gave you shares of something else, and I'll show you that chart here in just a second. Now, when we look at weighting percentage, as they add Tesla to the S&P 500, they're targeting 1% weight. Well, if they're removing AIV, that should be about 1% weight, right? Make it equal? Not even close. If you look at the current weighting of AIV, it is by far the weakest component of the S&P 500, coming in at 0.02%. Not 1%, not 0.1% or 100th, 0.02%. So basically, it means nothing to the S&P 500. Now, back to what I was saying earlier about how they gave them an extra share. AIV, when they made this announcement they're being removed from the S&P 500, split their company conveniently right around the same time. What they did is they gave everyone who held an AIV share a share of AIR, as you can see here on the screen. Now, what's critical here is understanding the value, because I showed you it dropped 89%. People thinking, that's a tremendous fall. Well, keep in mind, AIR at the time was $34 per share, and now AIV is right around $5. That means $39 combined, so it's really dropped about $3 per share if you combine the two. Now, as far as the adjustments, what this means is Tesla's had a huge run-up. Hedge funds, mutual funds, anybody tracking the S&P 500 must buy Tesla if they have a tracking fund of the S&P 500. What happens on Monday? Well, that buying ceases. Tesla will no longer have this huge catalyst pushing it up. Now, I checked the options on that one. They are incredibly expensive for put options right now. Why? Because most of the market is expecting it to fall in the coming weeks. If that does happen, and it's now part of the S&P 500, you can expect there to be some pullback in the technology sector. All right, long-winded part number 1 of our three-piece here. Let's look at number 2, which is going to be U.S. housing data. Now, I'm not going to show you a bunch of charts here, but we've talked in the past about how critical housing is to GDP and the overall economy. If we want to continue this upward trajectory of prices, we need housing to be strong. 2 numbers coming out. First, we have existing home sales on Tuesday. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the second one will be on Wednesday, which is new home sales on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. New home sales is probably the most important. We've heard some very positive numbers coming out from the home builders saying it's the most robust time that they have ever seen for the housing market. That's important. We want that to happen and continue. However, when everyone's thinking it's the most robust time ever, that seems to be historically when things start to turn. So keep your eyes on those numbers coming up this week. And last but definitely not least, it's a holiday week. We know what happens on holiday weeks. Volume becomes very light. Now, what should you do? Well, you should probably be very careful in these markets if you are going to be trading. These markets will be thinly traded, which means a large order could have a big spike up or down in price. The best thing to do is probably just take the week off. It's holiday anyway. Spend some time with family and friends. You're going to have Friday a closed market, short trading week. Hey, you know what? Let's just enjoy the end of this year by taking some time off and enjoying our family and friends. That, my friends, will do it for your Monday Market Must Knows. We will see you next week.